He is shocking everyone. Dylan Fairchild is turning heads from players on the Bengals, including the veterans on the offensive line. We're going to break down what these comments mean, and as a Bengals fan, why you should be excited. It's an offensive line that we could be dreaming for. We've been waiting for to see that solid line to protect Joe Burrow. Welcome to the jungle, guys. This is Isaac Coffman with Bengals Digest. So happy to see you and to be joining in on the discussion with this offseason with the Bengals. If you have not already, make sure you smash that subscribe button. You're in the right place for all the Bengals news, all the notes as they drop. We're going to break down all the breaking news as they come out. We want to hear your voice, so also be sure to comment below, share your thoughts, what you think of all the news as they come out. Well, recently there was some quotes from some offensive line players, and we're anxious as Bengal fans. For years and years, it seems like the Bengals just not had that offensive line they need for Joe Burrow. At one point, Joe Burrow was the most sacked quarterback in the league. So you understand as a fan why we can get excited for new players coming in and making an impact. One of those players right now is third-round pick Dylan Fairchild. Now, he is a guy that has high marks. He's had a lot of promise, but again, he's a third rounder. Typically, you don't see a third rounder that's going to come in, make an impact right away. It's always possible, but when it comes to Fairchild, he is one to keep an eye on, especially because of the comments that have come out from players. One such is coming from Amarius Mims. Check this out. He says, he's the strongest dude I ever met in my life. Pound for pound. He has that factor about him, not just in game, but in regular life. I feel bad if he gets his hands on a regular pedestrian just walking down the street. If it's not football player, he'll probably do damage. Wow, that's scary. That is really scary. Talking about how they've tried to get these guys that were tough as nails that could withstand these elite pass rushers. It seems like from the comments right there, this guy's tough. The strongest guy, and Mims is no pushover. That guy is so big. Like, I would not want to mess around with Mims. Coming from a guy saying, I don't want to mess with this guy. And he's got history with him there at Georgia. So it's interesting coming from him, those comments saying he's strong, which they have really needed. Not to say that their offensive line haven't had players with strength. I mean, you have to have that in that position. There's been a lot of question marks around Cordell Volson, who has been their left guard. And he was kind of thrown into the fire, so you kind of feel for him. But to hear someone like Fairchild that can come in and make an impact right away. He just got drafted, but it just keeps going back to all good things. And coming from Mims, I can't say enough of hearing comments that this is the strongest dude he's ever heard. Mims probably knows what he's talking about. I'm sure he's dealt with a lot of guys that are really strong or big like him. To hear that, like, not just also in game, he mentioned a pedestrian, someone on the street. Those are the kind of comments. Just me personally, I hear that. I'm like, this dude's got to be tough. This guy's got to be strong. If you're not just talking within game, because you're talking game flow, you're talking athletes, but just someone you don't want to mess around with. I'm all for it. I mean, I'm not saying these guys need to have this mean edge, but just bring an edge. Bring something that's gonna maybe strike fear into defenses. You know, guys that are coming in and rushing, you got to have a little bit of a fear factor on guys that are going to be rushing and coming in. And the fact that Mims, I was very impressed with him last year. You know, to break it down a little bit, talk about Mims, talk about a guy that got thrown into the fire a little bit too. He's got all the tangibles to be a pretty much cornerstone for the offensive line. He was a rookie last year. He was drafted in the first round, but I was still impressed regardless. I mean, you're kind of expecting that out of a first rounder. I would argue this is one of the better first round picks that the Bengals have had in the last few years. So that's got me excited to say, you know, Mims is getting all excited about what Fairchild can do, and he's going to be lining up on that offensive line. Well, what about the rest of the line? Because you're talking, okay, Mims is on the right side. If Fairchild is going to be a starter this year, he's still got to compete. He hasn't won that job yet, obviously, but let's say he does. He's going to be lining up with Orlando Brown Jr. So what did Orlando Brown Jr. have to say? Well, let's take a look. He said his play strength is very unique. There's a reason the Bengals took him in the 3rd round and gave him the opportunity to be the guy at left guard. Just in terms of play strength, the right mindset, his ability to pass protect for his size, he's got a unique body in terms of his length, height, strength. In college, playing as well as he did in the SEC and how consistent he was, it's what made him a hot commodity. Again, heaping on the praise. This is going to be a guy that's going to line up with him. If Fairchild gets the starting role, gets that starting position, he's going to be working closely with Orlando Brown Jr. And he's just saying, this is a guy we want. This is a guy that has the ability to pass protect. He's got the size. He's got that length, height, strength, all those things. So that's got me excited. I mean, just looking at the tangibles of what you want in a left guard and coming from Orlando Brown Jr., arguably you can say he's the best lineman. So if he's saying this guy's got the it factor, this guy can come in and contribute right away, again, that's got me excited. As Bengals fans, we want Burrow to feel like he can sit back there and examine the defense, give those extra few seconds. We can go back again to that Super Bowl year. If they would have had just a little bit more time, a little bit more, just if it was that 1 or 2 guys they could have added to that offensive line, even in depth, because we can say injuries have also plagued this offensive line. So if anything, you're talking Fairchild, if he's not a starter, he's going to be a solid backup. That's something to get excited about. And he's going to learn. He's going to go through his rookie pains, whatever you want to call them, if he does start. But they're desperate for just that it factor. And I feel like all these comments are saying clear as day that Fairchild is going to have that it factor. And if you don't want to take his word for it, there's still another person. Think about who is the captain on this offensive line. Someone I respect a lot because he has some great lines and quotes when he's been interviewed. He just tells it how it is. What about Ted Karras? This is what Ted Karras had to say. He had comments to talk about Fairchild. He said he recently got married, and I think that bodes well. He's kind of coming in as a grown man, a married man. It doesn't seem like the moment is too big for him. I figured if this guy is eager, I have the accommodations, and I wanted to get my hands on him first. I think he's done a great job so far. We're 2 days in working with him, made of the right stuff, played at a big-time program, and seems to be kind of a physical specimen. Excited to have him. Wow, let's go. Let's go. This is coming from the captain of your offensive line, Ted Karras. And he's saying, I want to take this guy under my wing. I want him to just excel. I want to see him really let's go. You've got Ted Karras, who would be on his right, and Orlando Brown to his left. Both just saying all the things you want to hear for a young guy coming in. Going back to he's going to be a rookie. Got to keep that in mind. He's going to have growing pains. He's not going to be perfect. Sometimes as fans, we expect so much out of these players as they come in, but you can't help it. The guy is being told he is the strongest person ever seen from Mims. He's got all the physical tools you want, coming from, again, arguably the best offensive lineman on the Bengals. And then you got Ted Karras saying he's got the right mindset. He's just recently been married. He wants to get to know him. He wants to let him mature and sign me up. That just sounds like this is a home run pick. It's too early to say again, but everything is just checking the boxes so far. I think it's refreshing because if the Bengals are going to go far, they have got to have an elite offensive line. As good as Burrow is, you got to protect him. You absolutely have to protect him. But we want to hear from your thoughts. What are your thoughts about Fairchild? Is he going to contribute right away? He was ranked in the top 5 in a lot of categories coming out of the combine. Actually, in athleticism score, he was ranked 2nd. What do you guys think? Do you think he's going to be a starter year 1? Do you think he's maybe going to have to grow into it? We'd love to hear your comments. Comment below if you're excited for this offensive line, if you think it's going to be better, all that good stuff. And again, if you have not already, smash that subscribe. Join the community. Let's get in on the discussion as we anticipate this upcoming 2025 season. So that's going to do it for now, guys. As we always say, Houday.